3. I-Atlas is closing in on Mars, no longer a forecast, but a certainty. It's knifing through the inner solar system, its coma swelling as its tail angles in an unexpected direction. It's set to pass nearer to a neighboring world than any interstellar visitor on record. And yet, despite the magnitude of the encounter, NASA has offered little beyond sparse, tucked-away technical notes, confirming the track but saying nothing about what it means or what we should ask. From the moment it crossed Jupiter's orbit, 3I Atlas started defying our playbook for natural interstellar debris. It brightened earlier than predicted, and its course has an unsettling coherence, as if it's following a plan. Now, with Mars straight ahead, Earth's instruments are lining up. Orbiters at the red planet are priming their cameras and spectrometers. The James Webb Space Telescope has fixed on its spectral signature, and Hubble is watching the Coma evolve. So why the quiet from NASA just as something from another star sweeps this close to our celestial doorstep? The quiet feels deafening. As 3I Atlas closes on Mars, the discussion has shifted from where it came from to what it's trying to do. It isn't merely drifting through, it's lining up. This body, older than the planets it's skimming, has traced a route so exacting it would challenge a human-guided probe. An almost straight-line procession across the system, each flyby arriving with clockwork finesse for something supposedly born of randomness. Its motion feels disturbingly intentional, yet there's no public briefing, no shared countdown, only scattered chatter from observatories, mission notes, and nameless academic posts. A trickle of evidence has surfaced: preprints, frames from Mars orbiters, infrared signatures from the James Webb Space Telescope, a sharp uptick in CO2 emission within the Coma, but nothing that stitches those threads into a coherent account. The very institutions meant to illuminate the unknown have offered no story. Mars Express and the Trace Gas Orbiter have quietly reworked their plans. Their spectrometers are being retuned for water ice, organics, and unusual isotope ratios. These instruments aren't there to admire a spectacle. They're hunting for exceptions, and the Coma is behaving unlike a typical comet's. Some grains appear heavier, dispersing more slowly than expected. Under specific observations, the tail tilts sunward, as if being pushed by a force other than solar radiation, one we haven't yet quantified. These aren't whispers, they're measurements. Hubble, meanwhile, keeps photographing the faint dust envelope around the nucleus. The images may be plain, but the implications aren't. The estimated nucleus size doesn't square with the sheer mass of material venting away. Either the core is bigger than current models suggest, or something beneath the surface is unusually energetic. Ideas on the table include localized heat reservoirs, chemical imbalance, or sublimation triggered by unfamiliar compounds. Others are saying nothing, by preference, or by directive. What truly unsettles is the timing. 3I Atlas reaches Mars just as Earth's vantage slips away. In days, solar conjunction will hide it behind the sun from our point of view, an invisibility window opening during its most volatile phase. The moment most likely to yield dramatic activity or fragmentation is also the moment we'll be least able to witness it. From Earth, it will drop from sight. From Mars, it will remain observable, but the data stream will be partial, delayed, and mediated. So the blunt questions surface. If this is only a comet, why the razor-optimized track? Why did it light up early, diverging from known behavior? Why is the inclination so shallow, about 5 degrees off the planetary plane, matching the very corridor we use to sling probes toward the outer system? That alignment alone is unsettling. A Harvard astrophysicist who once argued that Oumuamua might have been a probe is now making a similar case for 3I Atlas, citing its orbital choreography, flyby cadence, apparent retrograde segments, and odd spectral features. He's urged a retasking of existing assets to intercept it, specifically a diversion of Juno at Jupiter. Thus far, no agency has bitten. Official channels insist it's natural. A visitor, yes, but a quiet one. A relic with quirks, still a comet. No threat, no mystery, no cause for alarm. But they said much the same about Oumuamua, until its motion refused to match the script without a visible driver. Now 3I Atlas is nearly at Mars, and its coma keeps intensifying. None of this showed up in the simulations. As 3I Atlas closes on Mars, its conduct keeps shattering expectations. It was filed under Ordinary Comet, cold, inert, forgettable. The measurements say otherwise, irregular, animated, almost responsive. James Webb and Hubble have it under watch. Webb's infrared spectra are pulling out signatures that should have weathered away eons ago. Organics, silicates, carbon chain molecules in surprisingly pristine form, preserved as if time barely touched them. Hubble's view of the coma shows a faint, unstable haze, whose brightness thumps in no obvious rhythm. Then there's the tail. A typical cometary tail is pushed anti-sunward by radiation pressure. Yet part of 3I Atlas dust stream appears to curl inward, as though resisting that push. The grains look heavier, their dispersion slower. One camp points to unusually large particles. Another sees a path that's too neat, too consistent, uncomfortably deliberate. From Mars, instruments on Mars Express and the Trace Gas Orbiter report transient detections of CO2, C2, and other volatiles, appearing, disappearing, then returning. Not steady outgassing, but pulses, a cycle, a breath. Its light curve deepens the puzzle. It brightened early, well before the frost line, and now, nearing the sun, its glow flickers, stalling, then surging, hardly the smooth ramp of an inert body warming under sunlight. This is erratic. This is active. This is strange. Size estimates are also in flux. What once looked like a modest nucleus may be larger, on the order of 10 kilometers. Enough mass to account for some effects, but not all. Because the real unease isn't only composition, it's the root. The object is skimming the ecliptic, roughly 5 degrees off the planetary plane. Rare for an interstellar passerby. 3I Atlas is coasting through the same gravitational lane we use to send probes outward, a trajectory that reads like a flight plan. Saying intent is a hazardous leap. Officially, it remains a comet. Odd, yes, but natural. Behind the scenes, the mood is shifting. Shared and leaked emails hint at growing discomfort. The fits are poor, the categories don't hold. Spectra with unexplained absorption, notches. Thermal swings too rapid for known mechanisms. Organic configurations, uncommon in naturally processed bodies. The language stays guarded, anomalous, peculiar, unclassified. But the implication is clear. What do we do when something arrives from interstellar space and refuses every box we've built for it? When the confidence interval around what it is collapses? Curiosity shades into concern. Between institutional quiet and public speculation, a new possibility takes root, not in what the data shows, but in the gaps around it. Perhaps 3I Atlas isn't merely behaving oddly. Perhaps it's unlike anything we've encountered. As perihelion nears, Earth's view will wash out in solar glare. Its most volatile window may unfold during our blind spot. We could miss the crescendo, or miss something never intended for us to see. What we're collecting now are fragments of a larger picture. The missing pieces might not belong to the physics we know, maybe to something older or something else. October 31st, that's the date. 3. I-Atlas will skim its closest approach to the sun, Perihelion, a hush inside a furnace. At that range, sunlight turns brutal, heat soars, dust boils away, ice flashes to vapor. Fragile bodies crumble, and we still don't know whether 3 I-Atlas is brittle, resilient, or even purely natural. Some predict a total breakup, the core torn apart by heat and tides like Ison or Elenin. Others anticipate a violent outburst, a sudden bloom of activity that swells the Coma in seconds, bright enough to punch through solar glare from Earth. And a few suspect something stranger, that it will cross the inferno intact, as if built to last. If that happens, the questions only get harder. During perihelion, Earth will be effectively blind. The sun will wash out our view, sensors will saturate, streams will go quiet. No live images, no crisp footage, just indirect readings from solar sentinels like SOHO and STEREO. They've logged countless sun grazers. Most disintegrate, some fade to nothing, a rare handful endure. Which path will 3 I-Atlas take? Mars orbiters might still catch a glimpse. Their instruments will keep sampling and relaying data in the weeks that follow, yet even they have limits. If the object fractures, pivots, accelerates, those changes could slip past us in real time. Strangely, there's a calm in that uncertainty, a poised stillness. Once it slips behind the sun, an outcome is set. Final, irreversible. If it survives, it will return. To view weeks later, dimmer, ebbing, bound outward toward Jupiter. Then the frontier, then the dark. It won't be back. This is the moment that matters. Observers are watching for telltales. Fragmentation patterns could sketch its interior architecture. A sudden Coma reshape might betray hidden vents or buried dynamics. A tiny twitch in the orbit could hint at forces we don't yet grasp. Small deviations could carry enormous meaning. And if nothing changes at all, that too speaks volumes. Early ignition, odd spectra, a near mission-like route through the inner system. These aren't footnotes, they're signals. The quiet surrounding them is not happenstance. This passage through fire is the hinge. Afterward, clarity may slip away. It could become another half-seen puzzle, compressed to files and footnotes, mislabeled and shelved, unless we choose to dig deeper or are compelled to. Because whether it shatters or flares, fades or persists, 3 I-Atlas is writing its story in dust and light. And we're standing at the threshold, backs warmed by the solar blaze, waiting for the moment no model can predict. Maybe it's only a relic, an ancient frozen wanderer slung across the galaxy by long-ago events. Maybe the anomalies are noise, coincidence, calibration, a comet being a comet, just in a way we haven't quite documented. That's the comfortable answer, the one that lets us rest. But perhaps not. 3 I-Atlas broke script. It brightened early. It flew with unnerving precision. It threaded past the inner worlds in sequence and now dives sunward along a corridor that echoes our own probe trajectories. And the quiet, perhaps the strangest signature of all, has shadowed it from the start. If this is merely debris, why does it feel so intentional? Why does each data set deepen the enigma? And why do we avert our gaze at the critical instant? We know comets, we know the patterns. This doesn't fit. If you feel that unease beneath the charts and caveats, you're not alone. The universe owes us no certainties, only wonder. And this visitor, whether natural or crafted, ancient or purposeful, has delivered exactly that. It reminds us space isn't empty, silence isn't absence, and arrivals sometimes come without warning, rule book or origin story, forcing us to revisit what we thought we'd settled. Maybe 3I Atlas will burn apart at Perihelion, its secrets diffused to dust. Maybe it will slip through and fade, revealing nothing more. Or maybe the point was never its wake, but its gaze. If this wasn't just a passerby, but an observer, then the spectrum and speed are only part of the equation. We must consider the chance that we were the ones under study. So keep watching the sky in the weeks ahead. Something brushed close to home, and it did not come quietly. If mysteries like this move you, if the hush between stars stirs your questions, stay with us. Share your thoughts. Subscribe. 3I Atlas may soon be gone, but the questions it leaves behind are just beginning.